Destruction caused, destruction instead of following instruction. I take go cause destruction. Destruction caused, destruction instead of following instruction. I take go cause destruction.
I'm Sonia Strong and you're watching Big World TV.
The path of misdirection and seem to make the connection. Destruction caused, destruction instead of following instruction. I take go cause destruction. Destruction caused, destruction instead of following instruction. I take go cause destruction.
My favourite colours are blues and purples. I always have blue lights around. I find it keeps me calm. And I heard once that if you surround yourself in yellow when you're being creative, you get the best of your artistic ability. So I do that. I love sushi. I love raw fish. I know a lot of people think that's disgusting, but I love sashimi, like the raw salmon and raw tuna. Big fan of Italian food. I love to cook pasta and Egyptian food because that's half my heritage. So all of them types of foods and flavours. Yum. I've got one movie that is like, it's the best one of all time for me. Death Becomes Her. There's not a movie that replaces that. Devil Wears Prada. I always have a good laugh at that. And TV shows, I'm a bit of a geek. I like The Big Bang Theory, like Sheldon's character, just love it. And then I suppose Friends, Sex and the City. It's all about the American sitcoms. I started writing poetry when I was about 6, and then I think I was 16 when I started thinking these could be lyrics and I want to write the music to accompany the words. And I played piano when I was a kid and a little bit of drums, so I just started putting together a home studio. So it's been about 10 years of writing music, and I always say I'm a true singer-songwriter. I compose the music and I write the lyrics and have a lot to do with the production of the final track. Well, with the debut album, the general vibe is dance music, but I was described as an eclectic writer. I do sort of spread myself across all the genres. I really like writing classical stuff. That sounds a bit strange, but I love like big strings and using a lot of keys. But I like to experiment. There is a track on the album called Masterpiece, and I just had an idea that no one seems to mix orchestral sounds with dubstep, so a fusion of classical with current music. And it took nearly a year to write the track, and I was really happy with it when it was finished. It started off as an experiment and then ended up going on the album. There's 13 tracks on the album, and the debut album is called Sonogram. I've got 12 original tracks and 1 remix, and I featured 2 other artists on the album, a female singer called Jen Jensen from New Zealand and a male rapper Milkshake, and we did a video shot in the north to the track True to You. It's a bit of a hip hop track. I like to write Latin vibes, so I've got 2 tracks. One's Isolation, and that's very Spanish, and there's another one called Shake It Up, and I mixed Arabic and English together and had like the sort of Arabian sounds running through that. I seem to write a lot when I'm driving, and if I go on holiday I make sure that I use like different scenery to what I'm not used to inspire us. But mainly I like to write alone in the most peaceful place that I can find. I do go to the beach a lot because I live quite near the coastline. I spend a lot of time like in the Lake District, so I just go down there with my laptop and headphones on, pen, and maybe element. I've been doing a lot of writing since the album was released. It kind of felt like it came out of a relationship because it took 7 years to write and produce it. I'm pretty sure it won't take that long for the second album. I've already started putting pieces together, but I don't want to jump the gun. I want to try and concentrate on the promotion of the first album. But just so I can keep the creative flow going of my writing, I'm doing little bits of music for a musical called Brenda's Bar, and bits for stage and screen, write little sort of jingles and soundtracks for things. So yeah, it's kind of like it's a bit quiet on the production side because it was so full on for so many years. It came to a point where I thought I'm going to have to give my brain a little bit of a break, otherwise it's going to explode. But after a few weeks, I started to miss it. I feel like unless I'm being creative and expressing myself through music, then life's not worth living. Sounds a bit dramatic, but it's true. Yeah. When people ask what I do, I say I'm an artist in every sense of the word. I kind of balance music with beauty therapy. I teach beauty, nails, makeup. I've got a nail and beauty training academy. So I travel around the country teaching private courses, and I do a couple of days in a salon just to keep me hand in with the client side of work. I just finished working with a talented producer called Luca Harb. He's an Italian musician, and we produced the whole album together. And because the second album's just in the writing stages, it's just me alone with my pen and my guitar. I've been doing little bits and bobs of music, writing a song for a soundtrack for a film, doing little jingles for people's businesses and radio station stuff. But generally I tend to work alone. I don't sit in studios with many people. I've done a lot of stuff where I'll do a vocal for someone, email it, and they produce the track, email it back. So it is quite a lonely process. Well, I asked my lawyer a few weeks ago if he could hook me up with Calvin Harris, because we've got the same lawyer, and his response to that was Beyonce's still waiting for that, so I might have to wait a bit longer. I'd love to work with producers like Chase and Status. I know Judge Jules is back on the scene. Like, I know Armin van Helden's doing a few things, like old producers that are kind of creeping back around with new material. I'd love to sit down with someone like them and be like, right, let's do this. I was in stage school for many years from being a child, and when I got my qualifications to teach dance at 18, I then went into the acting side. So I did a foundation degree in acting and a few courses in TV presenting, and I got a job a few summers ago in America presenting for Bravo TV, and it was a show called Cops, Cars and Superstars, and Richard Blackwood was my co-presenter. And it was a rally around the West Coast from Hollywood to Vegas up to Aspen and all the way back down, which was really good fun. I've done quite a lot of work with Channel 5. I was a human lab rat for the diet doctors. Apparently my system was fit enough to undergo an ice cream challenge, so I had to eat 2 litres of ice cream every day for 2 weeks just to see the effects that I'd had on my body, which inevitably I didn't sleep. I ended up gaining weight, I felt lethargic. It was good. It was good to do it. I've done a lot of presenting on the red carpet, so I used to go down to movie premieres with a camera guy, interview the cast and the guests of the premiere. I suppose behind and on screen, like anything to do with production media, I love it. And then the music videos for the album that came about this year, it's been a lot of fun. It was the first time I had to lip sync to my own music, which took a lot. I didn't realise it was going to be that tough. I had to spend a lot of time in the mirror practicing, which was uncomfortable, but it was good. Yeah, I suppose you can only learn as you go, and I just want to improve as well. So masterpiece video. I've been writing a storyboard for my next video, and I want to shoot it for the track Masterpiece, which is the third one on the album. And I've got this idea that's probably going to take a huge budget, but it's kind of a mix of taking you back to the 1920s, where it's very old-fashioned theatre, when people used to dress up to go to the theatre, and then taking it into the year 2020, very futuristic. So because the track is a mix of classical and dubstep, I thought the video needs to represent the same thing. And I'm going to play the magician's assistant in the video, and at the end I'm going to be in a coffin, and then I've disappeared. So I'll leave it up to the audience's imagination of what's actually happened. Was it real? Was it not? And the underlying message that I want to get across is there's a lot of corruption, especially in the media. So yeah, that's going to be the third music video. I've recently decided I'm going to call my second album Ultrasound, just to follow the theme from Sonogram. And I can feel already that my style's changed since writing the first album. It is still quite varied in terms of genre, but I want to sort of knock out a couple of house tunes, some more drum and bass, but also experiment with the orchestral stuff again, maybe put orchestra with funky house, and remix some of the original stuff. And rapping, I've wrote a lot of rap in my time, but I haven't really laid it down much on the tracks. So I think I'd like to bring a bit more of a funky urban side to the second album, a bit of a hip hop R&B type flair. Yeah, you just Google Sonia Strong, and that's Sonia with an I. My official website is soniastrong.com, and you will find me all over on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Just Google Sonia Strong and you'll find it there. Yeah, the debut album's on iTunes now, and you can find it on Amazon MP3, Google Play, and you can listen on radio stations like Deezer, Spotify. And recently I found that if I Shazam myself, it comes up, so that was quite exciting.
Contract, depth, intervention, led the path of Mr.